Does Mick Schumacher have the ceiling that so many people, including world champion Sebastian Vettel, sees in him? Let's get right into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Formula One Digest. I'm your host, Tyson Silva, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mark. Today, we're reacting to some interesting words from four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel on his protege, his friend, Mick Schumacher. And Seb was quoted saying that Mick is working hard and he knows how much effort he's putting into it and into his career. And he thinks that Mick is on the right track. And it's great to see him getting some results that he does deserve. Obviously, Mick has had an interesting career so far in Formula One, to say the least. He was with Haas last year and didn't really have much of an impact for them on probably the worst year in Haas history. They're such a young team, but they've already really had, I think, their worst year, where they had a driver lineup of Mick Schumacher as a rookie and rookie Nikita Mazepin, and they didn't really get many points or any points for that fact. And obviously this year they've been a bit on a different trajectory, as they've gotten points in certain places, in certain tracks. And as of late, Mick Schumacher has been a different driver, scoring some nice points for Haas, getting his first points in F1 after such a long wait. Mark, what are your thoughts on the development of Mick so far?
Not just getting points, but proving that he can get his elbows out and race. We look back to when he was racing Max Verstappen in Silverstone. That was amazing. He went wheel to wheel with the one-time world champion, and he held his own and ended up scoring points off of it. I think that Mick is a great driver, and I don't underestimate him at all. I totally believe that he will be able to get going with his career and really start getting the results that he deserves. It might just be up to the car now. That might be part of the reason why he hasn't been performing so well. Or it could be, his he might be a little, afraid in the car. I don't want to say afraid, but nervous racing in Formula One, as you would. It's a big series to be racing in. The cars are, nowhere near what he used to be driving in Formula 3, Formula 2. And he will get there eventually. There's so many instances of other drivers struggling in their first few seasons, but then you also have the drivers that are enigmas, like Fernando Alonso getting into Formula One, winning, Max Verstappen winning on his debut for Red Bull. Like, you have all these enigmas, but then you have someone like Mick Schumacher, who's slow to get up to it, not necessarily on a top team just yet, but he'll get there. And I think a step to that, he should leave the Ferrari Academy and try to find something else external to that.
No, definitely. I think he's been pretty strong as of late. The results don't really show it, but he's been showing that he can hang with some of the big names in F1. Like you mentioned, the fight with Max Verstappen is definitely up there for one of the highlights of the season. But that race in general was a highlight of the season. It might be the best race that we get all of 2022. But yeah, I think that I agree. I think that he should look to perhaps move to a different team once his time at Haas is up, because there's going to be more opportunity for him. And I think that, because he's still such a young driver, the sky's the limit. Like, you can develop this guy into a guy that can get you consistent points, be a potential world champion. But I think the question is, though, like, where does he go? right now, the driver market's pretty competitive. There's been a lot of drama, as we've covered, with the McLaren team, who are yet to announce what their plan is with Daniel Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri. There's a team like Alpine, who I think they still have a spot open, but who knows what they're doing just behind the scenes. We all thought that there would be a spot open at Aston Martin that Mick could take, but then Fernando Alonso made the shocking move to go there. Now there may potentially be a spot at AlphaTauri. So there's definitely going to be a lot of hype surrounding Mick if he can continue to produce for Haas, and who knows, maybe he'll get a spot with a bigger team in the coming future. But I do have a question for you, Mark, and this one is quite interesting, obviously, because he is the son of one of the greatest drivers of all time. But how many championships, or how competitive do you see Mick Schumacher being in the next 2-3 years?
In the next 2-3 years, I don't think he'll be fighting for championships, just out of pure spite of whichever team he lands in, if he decides to leave the Ferrari Academy. That right now is kind of sealed to the big three teams. I do see him potentially pulling an Esteban Ocon and maybe winning a race if the luck goes his way. And who knows, that could even happen this year. The races have been so wild. If Haas lands themselves in, just that perfect position, maybe at a Monza, he could possibly win a race. I do see him winning races. I kind of see him sort of like a Martin Brundle, a successful driver, but not a championship winning driver. But who knows, if he ends up on a Red Bull or a Ferrari eventually in his career, I definitely see him winning a championship. But as of now, with just the way the cars are and how much money teams are still putting into the cars and just how much of a deficit there is, I think he would need to land on one of those big three teams to really cement a championship or hopes of even a championship.
No, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Right now, it's down to the big three teams. McLaren could maybe squeeze their way in there eventually, but I think they still have a lot of development to do with their own drivers and their own car. But yeah, no, it's going to be really interesting to see what Mick can do. Obviously, Sebastian sees the potential there. I don't think Seb would say that just for the sake of saying it. I think he definitely does see the potential that Mick has to be a top driver in Formula One. It's just a matter of when is the opportunity going to present itself for him to prove himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. But until then, Mick Schumacher will be a Haas driver, and for now, that's good enough, I guess. And we will see what he does in the coming future. But until then, thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share as well with all your friends. We really do appreciate all the support. And we will see you guys in the next video.